What is up, everyone? Another Cardano update. This time I got my computer out. The setup, if you could see the setup, it's like ridiculous looking. I'm sitting on these chairs, but we're going to do some technical analysis on Cardano. This is the charts. This is what we're looking at on the short term, the 6 hour. At surface level, it's ugly. Like, it is ugly. However, on the macro level, I just don't think these opportunities, it's not even a thought. The data suggests these opportunities, they just don't come along often. And we've entered this area of opportunity. I want to talk about it. Before we dig into the charts, where Cardano is right now, I want to cover this tweet just came out with SundaySwap. So many of you have been tracking along with SundaySwap, and they just tweeted, who's ready to sample some flavors? We're proud to announce that the SundaySwap testnet event will be going live on the evening of Sunday, December 5th. 4 days away, everybody. And the article and you can hit the timestamps if you want to go right to technical analysis, but Crypto Capital Venture pools, stake pools are part of the ISO. So this is pretty important and exciting news anyway in regards to this SundaySwap DEX coming to Cardano. So overjoyed to announce that our testnet will launch December 5th. And a few points. They're talking about the testnet serves a number of purposes. First and foremost, to identify any bugs that come from being used by thousands of users with fresh eyes, as opposed to developers and auditors who've been working on it for months. So that's number one. When this happens, when this goes live, this testnet, there's likely going to be some bugs. So that will likely bring some haters, right? If there's any type of bug that needs to be worked on. But this is such an efficient way to do what they're doing. Second, it provides an opportunity for us to provide a gentle on-ramp and training in a low-risk environment for the scoopers that the community recently selected to run the network, i.e. Crypto Capital Venture stake pools, right? All 5 of our stake pools will be scoopers for SundaySwap. So they'll start with the network running on our nodes and slowly bring the scoopers online. How cool is that? And then third, a testnet helps identify unexpected bottlenecks and inefficiencies. Check this out in bold. As we are now very close to our launch, we have to be careful to consider not just ourselves, but the ecosystem in which we exist. I love that first part, as we are now very close to our launch. So just kind of going through, skipping towards the end, here's how everyone in the SundaySwap community can help, number one, and also get involved. Once the testnet goes live, use our faucet to grab a set of play tokens, expect bugs, that's what the testnet's for. Using Yoroi or Nami, swap these play tokens around, decides which flavor you like best, and try to get as many as you can. Provide your feedback to us about your experience. And I would say that's important, everybody, if you could provide feedback to SundaySwap about your experience so that we can, or so that not we, but SundaySwap can make sure it's working, right? Make sure it's working efficiently and properly. So just awesome. Really cool news to see as we went through this progression of just the voting for the SPOs to take part in the ISO and as scoopers, and now we're just here, right? And you can just see this paragraph. Cardano being at the start of its DeFi life cycle. This is the beginning, everyone. This is the start. We're watching the slow evolution and growth of the DeFi life cycle has set the network parameters such as block size, CPU limit, and memory limit conservatively. As the team at IOG has communicated recently, they intend to raise these limits slowly and carefully over time. And so just really cool news. Wanted to go over that real quick. Let's pivot into price. Let's pivot into charts. Let's look at what's going on. And here's what we're looking at. I want to start with this tweet. I think it's good context for crypto markets in general, including Cardano. Bitcoin inverse head and shoulders target to 65K if neckline falls, meaning if Bitcoin can break above the neckline. Could be the catalyst for ADA reversal, and there it is. This is kind of the chart I posted. You can just see it there. Testing that neckline, will Bitcoin get to break above the neckline $65,000 target? Could be a really, really nice move for Bitcoin. Probably what, 10% move or so. And if that happens, could be a good signal with where Cardano is right now in terms of potentially bottoming out. And that's what I want to pivot over to Cardano right now. There's just such crucial information. I return back home tomorrow, probably later in the day, and thought maybe I could do a video then, but I just want to throw this out there now. I think it's really important data on these screens right now. So let's start with the weekly. A couple of things that I care about. Number one, on the chart itself, the 50-week moving average being tested right now. I want to see how this weekly closes. I'll be watching this right now. The 50-week moving average right around $1.48, that blue line you see right there. How will this close in the coming 4 days, right? We still have 4 days, 6 hours till the weekly close. That's number one. For me, maybe even more importantly, and I said this again, I can't stress this enough. I really can't. It gives me, talking about these oversold areas just gives me flashbacks, I think, of the bear market low, right? This is where cryptos were on the weekly chart. Cardano's not there just yet, but this is, in terms of accumulating bear market lows, this is the level, everyone, where it's just the fear is high and people are just having second thoughts about crypto, whatever it is. And it's where the opportunity is historically for any crypto. Cardano's there. If there's one thing that you could even look at on the charts right now, this is literally it. Cardano is approaching this level. It's like a 37 line. Again, we talked about it. Here's 2019 swing low. Here's 2018 bear market low. Cardano is just above these areas. Maybe there is more downside, which we'll look at on the short-term charts. Maybe there is. But I'm telling you, everybody, I think it's so wise to prepare for that downside. So that's the weekly chart. Wanted to just kind of point that out real quick. And just, piggybacking on that real quick, oversold here on the quicker moving momentum oscillator, the stock RSI. So here we are on the daily. A couple things here. Notice the RSI on the daily. It's kind of the same story. We're in this oversold environment on the RSI, the slower moving momentum oscillator. Last time Cardano got at like the same exact area, there was a reversal back in July when there was a lot of downside, and you all remember this, a lot of downside from this all-time high in the 260 range all the way down back to below $1, right? So much fear, uncertainty, and doubt for Cardano back then, similar to right now, which is happening. We're at a similar area there. No guarantees of a bounce right now, but it's a very, very good sign. It's a very, very good indicator. And if something like Bitcoin is making a move, and keep an eye on this, the MACD cross down here, this blue line getting ready to cross that signal line. So if we get that MACD approaching and crossing that signal line on the daily, it's a very, very good sign, right? And back in July, you can see it right here doing a very similar thing right there as, open this chart, as the RSI was also in a very similar oversold bounce area. Keep an eye on that, everybody. And then lastly, the 6-hour chart. This is what we're looking at. Here's kind of that chart we started with, a little ugly when you just kind of first glance look at it. But with those macro charts coming into view, there is a play for reversal, and I just want to talk about it. And I'm not trying to throw hopium out there. Be prepared for downside. There's downside targets. There really are. First off, we have this descending triangle. I didn't do that very well, but there's the yellow lower trend line right there. That breakout target, remember that $1.30, $1.40 range. Cardano did dip to the $1.41-ish, $1.42-ish range, but really didn't fall into that $1.30, $1.40 range just yet. It kind of hit the target. It doesn't have to be exact, everybody. It kind of got in that vicinity, but just don't be surprised if it falls into that $1.30, $1.40 range. I think we've been tracking that since all the way back here, right? Or maybe even back here. For months, we've been talking about that range. Cardano got very close. Maybe that was the move. Maybe that was it. There's no exact way to tell, but be prepared for slight downside. And then we do have this falling wedge. You see that white lower trend line down there that Cardano did break out of right around $1.20 to the downside target. Be prepared for that. What we talked about, I don't know exactly. If I remember correctly, on the patternsite.com, Bolkowski and his data, pullbacks are very common. I think 74% of the time we see pullbacks out of falling wedges. And a pullback would be basically a fake out, right? It's breaking to the downside, getting pulled back to the apex, to the lower trend line. And then we could look for Cardano to kind of make a breakthrough all of that resistance currently ahead of ADA right now. So that's what we're looking at. If we're looking at these areas and we actually go to something like the daily chart, let me open up this daily chart real quick. This is what Cardano has to do, and it's a lot, right? You can see this 20-week moving average in green, right around $1.78. Cardano needs to get above that. It needs to get above the 200 in red, 200-day moving average at $1.86, 50-day moving average, $1.94. It's time for Cardano to make its way back through all of those, right? And what that journey looks like, it could happen very quickly. So just want to throw that out there. Cardano has been below these areas before, namely just going back to July, which we were just looking at on those momentum oscillators, and it did explode in a matter of weeks above all 3 moving averages. That's the type of move we're looking at for Cardano. The reversal is in play even in regards to just maybe we hit this descending triangle target. Maybe we really did hit it. Not exactly, but at $1.40 range, we hit it, and we're going to get a pullback at the same time to this lower trend line of the falling wedge. We know the data says it happens often, so that's what I'm looking at. Stepping out of all that, everybody, things like this going on. Too exciting. Sunday Swap getting ready to do their testnet. Too cool. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I appreciate you. If you're not staking, stake with CCV5. Take part in the ISO for Sunday Swap. All of our pools are qualified though, so have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.